Hi guys. So I just went to a Daniel CV concert last night. It may come out this Saturday, it may not, depending if all the videos, sync up. But yeah, a video will be coming out maybe this Saturday, but I'm going to tell you guys about season 14 of Degrassi. Now this is the last season before we move on to next class. So this is the last of the next generation. So let's enjoy it while we can and let's jump into it. Episode 1, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Spring break is over and school is back in session. Claire makes a difficult decision and struggles with telling Drew. Zoe wants to join Becky's power cheer team, but is told that she'll be a distraction due to everything that happened last term. Mr. Hollingsworth worries that Miles' secret relationship with Tristan will ruin his political prospects. So, pregnancy, cheer team, not wanting Zoe on, not knowing who the dad is, secret relationship, renewal launch ceremony. So pregnancy's ongoing. The second one is not wanting Zoe on. Zoe distracts Becky and her leg gets broken, so Zoe gets on the team. I don't think that was exactly cool of Zoe to do that. It wasn't right of Becky to tell her not to be on the team either, but I don't think it was right of Zoe to Becky to exclude her like that, but I don't think it was right of Zoe to do that so she gets hurt in front of everybody. Not knowing who the dad is, ongoing. 4, secret relationship. Accidentally outs them in the press and Tristan wants nothing to do with him. So Miles says that his dad's last advice to him was don't be gay. And so he says that, which is outing Tristan, his relationship, and Tristan wanted nothing to do with him. I think that was a little bit of an overreaction from Tristan, but Miles shouldn't have talked to the press. Everybody just does everything wrong in this show. 5, cheerleader injury, but other than that, the renewal project worked out, I guess. So, yeah, I guess the renewal launch project worked, but we didn't really hear anything else about that. But the look Zig gives Zoe when she said a spot opened up after Becky broke her leg, because he's like, you'd be glad you didn't join that team. The look that he gives her when she says like a spot just opened up is so funny. Episode 2, Wise Up. Mr. Hollingsworth thinks he can buy Miles' support and crafts a plan to protect his image. Zoe is tired of being judged for a sexual assault, especially by Zig, and takes matters into her own hands. Drew is adamant about not having a baby, and when Claire offers him an out, he strongly considers taking it. So, road test, day with dad, asks Press to meet with them. Their conversation about future with the baby, and Zoe sends a sexy pic. So, road test. Miles passes, and his dad gives him a car. I don't think his dad should have given him a car because Miles was not, responsible enough. Yeah, day with dad. He got into a fight, and his dad gets physical. Obviously, it's never okay for your parent to get physical with you. That should have never happened. His dad should keep his temper in check. Miles walked out on his dad. Yeah, when the press was asked to meet them there, he walked out. I think that was the best decision for Miles to just walk out and cool off. Claire says Drew's off the hook, but Dallas disagrees. So I don't like how Drew just took the out she was giving him, because if you made a baby, they have enough responsibility to help take care of it. And I do agree with Dallas saying, well, how's that child going to feel on Father's Day? Like, he brought up good points. Zig accidentally says wrong thing, then apologizes, but Zoe rejects him. So Zig accidentally said he didn't want any sexy pics from her when he's getting sexy pics from Niners. So he really should have just said, I don't want you to feel like you have to. So yeah, he said the wrong thing, but then he tried to make it up to her and she rejected him. I don't understand why she rejected him, because he really did try to make up for all of it, but whatever. Well, that's the wind. 3, If You Could Only See. Frankie is tired of the double standard placed on girls and boys in regards to sex, giving Zoe the perfect fundraising idea. Becky realizes that she isn't the same girl that she used to be after going on a terrible date. Maya becomes worried about Miles after he begins skipping class. No boys allowed in the room, not treating her like her age, tries to set up a double date for friend, Maya's problem with anxiety, oomph chat, cheerleading business. So I like the line, Miles can't get pregnant, and he's like, that sounds like a challenge. That's funny. So Frankie takes a nude photo, which obviously it's never a good idea to take a nude. They can leak everywhere. Becky leaves. She thinks the boy's annoying. Yeah, he was kind of annoying. But he was like her, season 12. So I think it was good for Becky to leave and, you know, be like, this didn't work. And she gets back with Drew. That's actually bad. That's not good. And ongoing, Maya's anxiety is ongoing. But Miles yells at Maya for her mom calling his mom. Obviously, Maya didn't know that was going to happen, but you're going to yell at her like it's her fault. I don't think he should have yelled at her because she was actually concerned. But anyway, that's being a good friend. Chat cheerleading is ongoing. Perino apparently runs driver's ed. I heard him saying that over the announcements. Episode 4, Can't Stop This Thing We Started. When Eli returns to Toronto, Claire has to muster up the courage to tell him about her situation. Winston grows jealous of Tristan's relationship with his best friend Miles. A normally confident Zig feels emasculated when Grace beats him in arm wrestling and sets out to prove that he is a man. Telling X about pregnancy, Eli's back, clingy, boyfriend bothering friend. Home tattoo to prove toughness. So, Eli and Claire talk, and she says it's Drew's, and they fight. Obviously, I'm glad that Claire told Eli, but she shouldn't have said that the father is Drew because she really didn't know who the father was. She didn't know who the father of her baby was, so she shouldn't have just said straight up that Drew's the father. Winston talks to Miles. He's rude to Tristan during the game, which I'm all for him being rude to Tristan because Tristan just kind of came in on Winston and Miles' time to hang out. And Winston talks to Miles. I think it's good that he talked to him because, like, you gotta be like, look, your boyfriend is spending way too much time with you. I never see you anymore. Yada, yada, yada. Home tattoo. He says it's stupid to prove he's tough. And by doing this, and Grace says he's tough by doing that. So I'm glad that Zig kind of was like, it's stupid to get a home tattoo to prove you're tough. And she's like, yeah, you're right. It is. I'm glad you got up because I have no idea what I'm doing. So, you know. Episode 5, There's Your Trouble. Becky is reluctant to visit Luke in juvenile detention and decides to audition for a school band. Zoe pushes the squad too hard and faces an uphill battle when they want to stop oomph-chatting nudes for money. Eli and Claire face an obstacle in their relationship due to her pregnancy with Drew. So, brother wants to see sister, band audition, getting back with ex, cheerleader C, competition. So, Becky yells at Luke and stands up for herself. And I really like how she was like, I don't care that you want to repent. I don't care. My life has been hell since you did what you did. And like Becky girl power moment. I was waiting for it. Jonah lets Becky in the band. I really like how Jonah came back to her and was like, listen, that weird version of that rock song has been in my head all day. You're in the band because Becky is a good singer. Eli gets fed up with Claire and Drew. He tries to have lunch with Claire and Drew shows up. I totally understand Eli getting fed up. I would too. I think Claire should have been a little more understanding of Eli's feelings, but she wasn't really. And Eli should have been more understanding of her feelings. Everybody should have just been understanding of everybody's feelings in this situation. But yeah, I mean, you gotta know that Eli doesn't want Drew coming on everyone. Like, you guys were supposed to be having lunch. Like, Zoe gets new equipment with Degrassi nudes money. And I don't think she should have done that without asking the girls, you know, if they were okay with that. And Zoe gets on Frankie and makes her quit. That's awful. Obviously, Zoe shouldn't have singled out Frankie like that and made her quit, but Zoe. Episode 6, You Drive Me Crazy. Maya has a reoccurring nightmare about Miles and thinks that he needs help, but find out it might be her who needs the help. Imogen finds out that Jack doesn't want to be monogamous, which she pretends to be okay with. Frankie finds disturbing comics about the cheerleaders on Hunter's computer. Anxiety about past events, polyamory, non-monogamy, friends bullying a girl. So Maya goes to therapy. Obviously the best way to deal with anxiety is to go talk to somebody, go to therapy. Jack calls Imogen and says she was just scared and said she loves her. I do like that Jack called Imogen and said, you're right, I am scared. I've never done this before. But it's like also at the same time, like, why is Jack just one of the most annoying characters? Like, I'm sorry, but like, Jack puts Imogen through so much shit. And I'm like, my girl Imogen, she needs somebody good. Frankie goes to sit with Arlene and gets Hunter to start talking to her, which I think is so sweet because, you know, Frankie's trying to get Hunter to talk to his crush, and it's so sweet. I love how she did that for him. Episode 7, I'll Be Missing You. Zoe's Sweet 16 takes a horrifying turn when an anonymous person threatens to reveal the truth about Degrassi nudes unless she quits the team. Tristan notices a change in Miles' behavior and contemplates talking to him about it. Dallas fears that Allie's future plans do not include him. Blackmailer, date to keep girlfriend with you, boy changing after dating someone new, weed addiction. So Blackmailer's next part, date to keep girlfriend with you, talks about future. I like how Allie and Dallas actually didn't care about sex, talked about the future. She got him to not care about sex and be like, we need to talk about our future. And 3 and 4 connected, and that's in the next part. So let's read it. 8, Hush. Tristan, Winston, Frankie, and Hunter stage an intervention for Miles to talk about his weed addiction. The Power Cheer team attempts to figure out who is blackmailing them as they prepare for semifinals. Becky has become fast friends with Jonah, but Drew seems to think that he has a thing for her. Okay. Same problems and jealousy and hit and run. So Blackmailer's still ongoing. 3 and 4, dating someone new, weed addiction is still ongoing. 5 is jealousy, ongoing, but Drew did talk to Becky about it. I think it's good how Drew had that conversation with Becky because, you know, you need to talk about that. And hit and run is the next part. So episode 9, Something's Gotta Give. Imogen is on a mission to find out who is behind Degrassi nudes and is shocked to realize that Jack is involved. Maya lies to the police about the accident to protect Miles from his father's wrath. Drew is committed to keeping Becky happy, but his situation with Claire has his attention divided. Can't read. Degrassi nudes, juggling 2 relationships, hit and run. So Degrassi nudes is next part. Juggling 2 relationships. Tries to give Becky an apology smoothie, but after messing up the dinner with her grandma, but she says no. This apology smoothie is now a breakup smoothie and throws it on him. I am so glad Becky broke it off with Drew. It wasn't good for her. It just was never good. No. And I like how then Maya tells the police the truth, finally, because, you know, I'm glad she told the police the truth. I thought she should have done that from the beginning. Like, why are we going to protect Miles? He's like a piece of shit right now. And Jack cheating. She finally realized it's a problem and apologizes. This is the only time Jack apologized to Imogen. I feel like Jack should have apologized to Imogen many more times, but whatever. Episode 10, Hero versus Villain. When Mr. Simpson calls an assembly to find out who's behind Degrassi nudes, Zoe goes to extreme lengths to end the threatening messages once and for all. Claire has to figure out a way to tell Drew that Eli is actually the father of the baby. Tristan attempts to work things out with Miles. Degrassi nudes tells baby's real father, someone you date like someone else. Okay, so Degrassi nudes next part. Tell the baby's father. She tries to tell him and he calls her a whore. I don't agree with Eli calling her a whore. Obviously not. And it's that whole situation is just, he didn't even let her get to the thing about the baby, but Tristan breaks up with Miles because he finds out that he still likes Maya. So, you know, that was the right way to go. It hurt Tristan, but he knew that was what he had to do. Also, I broke up with Becky, says Drew, and I'm like, actually, she broke up with you. So, yeah. Episode 11, Firestarter Part 1. In the first part of the explosive winter finale, as word about the fundraising scandal spreads, Frankie convinces the cheerleaders to help her pin Degrassi nudes entirely on Zoe. Zig and Tiny compete to get a cheerleader's phone number. Claire contemplates her future as her pregnancy becomes public information. So, Claire was too mean for what she said to Jenna in this episode where she's like, I don't want people to look at me like I'm trashy teen mom like people did when you were pregnant. Jenna said, ouch. And I'm like, yeah, Claire, that was going a little too far. Youth form, Degrassi nudes, real father of the baby, bet to ask out a cheerleader, boyfriend comes out as blackmailer. So, youth form, ask Frankie about the nudes. And then her father's like, you have to take the fall. And I don't think that was correct. I also don't think that press person should have asked about Degrassi nudes because it has nothing to do with Mr. H's whatever. 2, Degrassi nudes, next part. 3, real father of the baby, next part. 4, Bet to ask out a cheerleader. Zig lost on purpose because the girl said mean things about Zoe. I do like how Zig stood up for Zoe because she was sexually assaulted and the girl was kind of poking fun at that. And you never poke fun at SA. Sorry, I gotta say SA. And then 5, boyfriend comes out as blackmailer. Next part. Episode 12, Firestarter Part 2. In the second part of the explosive winter finale, the Hollingsworth family is on edge after Frankie's nudes are leaked. Miles tries his best to expose his dad for the man he truly is. Eli tries to make things right with Claire after finding out that he's the father of her baby. Frankie and Winston's plan on getting Zoe to confess puts all their lives in danger. Nudes, blackmailer, real father of the baby, fire, abusive father. So, nudes. Zoe comes clean after Frankie says she'll lose all her friends unless she does. I do like how Zoe actually went to the police and actually said, look, I'm the ringleader, I'm the one in charge, I'm the one who should get the full blame. I do like how Zoe came clean. Blackmailer. Winston and Frankie try to get revenge on Zoe and it backfires. Not literally. So, you know, Winston is actually the blackmailer, but they're trying. I do like how they tried to get Zoe to reveal what she did, but I think Frankie telling her that she should come clean was the better option in the end. 3, real father of the baby. Imogen tells Eli, and Eli brings a lot of things to help Claire. And I think it was sweet that Eli was bringing things to be like, look, I looked up this stuff, this might help. And I do like how Claire was like, yeah, okay, you can help. And I really, really like that. Like, the baby should know his father. I really like that. Miles sees a pic of his dad on fire, and it spreads in seconds. He sets a picture of his dad on fire, and it spreads in seconds. I don't think he should have set a picture of his dad on fire, but go off, moneybags. So all the siblings take a stand and say they'll not come home unless mom comes to get them. And I really like that they stood up to their dad and was like, no, we're not leaving till mom comes to get us. Episode 13, watch out now. A month after the fire, the students find Degrassi under a new strict regime. The Oomph Chat scandal is still being felt around the school as Zoe faces criminal charges for being the ringleader and lands in detention with her former teammates who now hate her. Winston decides to do stand-up comedy to help uplift the school's spirit, but his jokes aren't a great hit to everyone. So, new principal, cheerleaders have detention, jealousy, new rules, wants to be funny, kisses someone who is not their girlfriend, and stabbing. So the new principal is just an update, and the cheerleaders have detention is just an update. So jealousy. Gets Jonah and Becky in trouble for something they did not do. So just because Drew's jealous, he gets Jonah and Becky in trouble for kissing when that's not what they did. But of course, Miss Pill just took his word for it. Oh, Miss Pill's a whole other problem. Becky actually kisses Jonah, but Drew doesn't tell. So, you know, Becky was like, it's like, he's like, I got in trouble for kissing you and it didn't even happen. And so she kissed him. I like them. I think they're really cute. And then 4 and 5 are ongoing. Kissing someone who's not your girlfriend and stabbing are ongoing. Oh, sorry, I missed wants to be funny. Makes jokes at Frankie's expense. Obviously, that was not right. And I like how Frankie told him that wasn't right. But then he gives her the script of Captain Who to make up for it. And that makes it better because then she helps him put on a great musical, by the way. 14, Ready or Not. Winston's musical is set to be performed at Degrassi and casts Lola as a way to keep her silent. Zig uses the musical to keep him busy from Tiny's stabbing. Claire and Eli find difficulty in only being co-parents when personal feelings get in the way. Kisses someone who's not girlfriend, stabbing, ex falling for each other again, retaliation, break-in. So kisses someone who's not girlfriend, not yet, stabbing. Gets in the musical as a distraction. And I really like how Zig got in the musical as a distraction because I feel like that was also a really good thing for him to be involved in. Exes falling for each other again. Got back together with you right here. And it's like they got back together and it's like, where are you? And it's like, with you right here. That was so cute. Those lines. I mean, I just love Eli and Claire. Like, they're just so great. 4. Zig warns Damon and no one goes because his gang was going to retaliate. So he warned Damon, hey, don't go to that place at St. Francis where you play basketball. And it's like, because, you know, so Damon listened to him and Grace texted him and it's like, you did it. Nobody got hurt. And that was really good for Zig to do that. The break-in, Damon left a bandana to let Zig know that he broke in. And of course, Zig can't say anything because snitches get stitches, so. You know. Episode 15, Wish List. Frankie and Hunter's 15th birthday is coming up and is forced to contact her estranged father to get some financial support for the party of her dreams. Maya realizes how close she really is to her friends. A face-off against Damon brings to light a skeleton Jack has been keeping in the closet. 15th birthday, break-in aftermath, mad about dad, being there for birthday, coming out concerns, trying to find a girl to take to spa. So, update is just the 15th birthday. Break-in aftermath, Maya and Zig talk, and she finally opens up about Cam trauma. So her mom's like, oh, I booked 2 for the spa, whatever, find somebody. Nobody would come, so Zig did, because she said to Grace, I absolutely have no one else to bring. So Zig comes, because, you know, Grace shut her down. And so then she talks, and she finally opens up about Cam. She's like, I've been so messed up after Cam. And she finally mentions it, and it's like, thank you. Miss H tells Frankie she needs to tell her dad she doesn't want to see him, which I think is good. I think that it was good that Miss H was like, listen, Frankie, you have to tell him if you don't want to see, you know, your dad. And then she's like, of course you're grounded, which was also a good decision because she almost left the plane. But yeah, so Maya and Zig talking. I don't know if I said that was good. I think I said that was good. 3 is next part. So coming out concerns is next part, and trying to find a girl to take to the spot. Zig came because Grace shot her down, and as I said, that was really good of Zig to do that for her. 16. Walking in my shoes. Still in probation, Zoe is forced to work in the cafeteria where she has to face her angry classmates for making their school into a prison. As Frankie struggles in math, she uses Lola as a way to pass, only to get hurt in the end. Imogen adheres to Jack's wishes about coming out to her parents, but with weeks left until their graduation, she soon realizes how much she's giving up. So, 16, community service, mad about partner not being out and not telling them, cell phone scam, cheating. So community service is just an update, 1. So they disagree and break up, and after Imogen tries to help. So I don't think necessarily they should have broken up over this. I feel like Jack should have tried to hear Imogen's side, but I do like how they did have a talk about it. And I guess if Jack felt like they needed to break up, then they broke up. Cell phone scam. Zoe has to clean the cafe for a second chance and gets closer with Miles. I do like how Miles was helping her figure out how to clean the cafeteria. That was really nice of him. And Frankie tells Armstrong and Lola that she was the one who cheated, so Lola gets back all her points. But then Lola tells her about the kiss, so Frankie breaks up with Winston, because obviously if your boyfriend kisses somebody else, is going to break up. I think it was good that Lola told her, and I think it was good that she told Armstrong, and I think it was good that Armstrong let Frankie make up the quiz, and all of that. It was bad on Winston. Winston didn't do anything right. Becky gave Imogen great advice, and it's a flashback to Adam where she's like, I think keeping it a secret is actually hurting them. And I'm actually talking from experience for once. When she kept Adam a secret from her parents, it really seemed to hurt him. And I like how Becky was able to give her that advice. 17, get it together. Becky tries to balance sinning against God as she gets more sexually attracted to Jonah. Maya finds herself partnered with an old friend for gym class. Claire and Eli take care of Dallas's son as practice for when their baby arrives. So boyfriend not wanting to kiss you, have to dance with enemy, worry about future kid. So trying to have the sex talk and boyfriend not wanting to kiss you. Zig and Maya kiss. No. And yeah. So Becky talks to her mom and then talks to Jonah. I think it was good that Becky's mom decided to have a conversation with her about sexual things, like actually trying to help her understand. And then Becky talks to Jonah, which I think is really good. You always have to talk to your partner about how far you want to go. Have to dance with enemy. They talk and make up. So Maya just let Tristan talk, and she just sat there and listened, which I think was really good of her to do. And Eli and Claire talk about making decisions together. And when you're having a baby, that's the conversation that you need to have. That was good on them to have that conversation, because literally when you're going to have a baby together, you need to have the conversation about how you're going to raise it. Episode 18, Give Me One Reason. Maya and Zig contemplate a relationship as her mom finds out. Still reeling from her miscarriage, Claire and Eli take a spontaneous road trip to New York to get into Columbia a semester early. Hunter has a crush on Arlene, but has a hard time expressing his feelings. So miscarriage, secretly date, crush on co-set designer. So Miscarriage. Eli and Claire have a talk, and I think it's really good that they talked about their baby and they have a talk about everything because it is really hard. My mom went through one. It's really hard to go through that. Maya talks to her mom, but Zig has to move out. It secretly dates. So Maya tells her mom, you know, I like Zig. There's nothing you can do about it. She's like, okay, but he can't live here. And then Maya freaks out. But I think it's good that she was honest with her mom. And crush on co-set designer. They stay friends and nothing changes because she does not know. She thanks him for being there for her. So I like how Arlene thanked Hunter for being there for her, but I don't like how Hunter couldn't just tell her. I know it's nerve-wracking, but like, basically she likes you. Like, come on, you gotta tell her. She's waiting. 19, I want to be adored. Not knowing the reason, Allie feels that Claire is pushing away from her as she continues to miss prom committee meetings. Zig moves in with Tiny and his brother Vince and soon falls back into old habits. Tristan makes creative changes to his online dating profile. Prom planning, mad at friend for missing vote, friend moving out, lying on dating apps, gang-related work. So prom planning is just an update. Allie tries to be supportive and that fails, which is really sad because Allie's really trying hard. And she brings flowers to apologize and Claire forgives her and they're friends again. I really like how Allie brought the flowers and was like, the guy at the flower shop said yellow stands for friendship. And I think that was really, really cute. Friend moving out, not better. It's just not better. Lying on dating apps. Comes clean on his date and the date feels the same way and it was really cute. I think Tristan should have started dating Gage, but they didn't make it happen. I liked Gage. Let me know in the comments down below if you liked Gage. I liked him. But yeah, so yeah, comes clean, date feels the same way. I'm glad he came clean and he actually found someone that had similar interests. And gang related work is next part. Episode 20, Teenage Riot. Zig's date night with Maya ends with them making a mistake while under the influence of MDMA. Claire is furious after finding out the real reason. The air between Frankie and Winston is tense, which makes her think of quitting the musical. I don't know what Claire's fury is after finding out the truth. Trying to find alone time, valedictorian speech, wanting privacy, fighting with co-star, has sex on drugs, Molly, and shooting for retaliation. So the update is valedictorian speech. So trying to find alone time brings Maya to his place. Zig brings Maya to his place. I think it was good that he was like, okay, let's have a date, let's have a dinner at my place, but with the people he lives with, maybe it wasn't the best idea. 2. Ruins the cameras. Badass, me too. I was glad that Claire ruined the cameras. I think that was good for her to do because nobody should be spying on you like that, and I would have done the same thing. Fighting with co-star. Frankie decides to make up and work together. I like how Frankie could try to put their differences aside just for the musical. Like, I like how she could be grown up and do that. 4. Maya and Zig talk, and he says to stay away from him. Now, I don't think Zig had to go as far as, like, you know, you guys just had sex, and you're like, stay away from me. I don't think Zig had to go that far, but I like how they ended up having a talk. And Maya was like, no, like, it was just... I like how Zig said what we did was stupid, how we did it wasn't, and that's when they came to a conclusion, and that was good. And then shooting is the next part. 21. The Kids Aren't All Right, Part 1. Zig learns the truth about what happened to Damon. Frankie has feelings for Winston again, but keeps it a secret. While volunteering at a hospital, Becky is forced to work with Drew, who questions whether or not Jonah can be trusted. So... shooting, retaliation, show, falling for X, stolen money, quitting musical. So the update is the show. So it's all solved in the next part. 22. The Kids Aren't All Right, Part 2. Zig finds out that Damon's crew is striking back the night of the musical. Winston realizes how important Frankie is to him. Becky has to choose whether or not to forgive Jonah for stealing from her. So, same problems. So, shooting, retaliation. Zig tells the police, and Damon sent him a video, and I really like how he told the police what happened. And I like how Damon sent him a video talking about their past, and Jose helps him and Tiny, which is really good for Jose to help them. But I also think that Zig going to see Damon with cheeseburgers was really sweet. 2, falling for her ex. Frankie falls for him again, and they get together after the musical. And they kiss after the musical and during the musical. And it's really cute. I really like them together. And then Becky confronted Jonah, which I think was good. She was like, you stole the money from me. And he explained, and she talked to him again, and they break up. And she was like, I can't be with someone who steals from me, and lied about it. And I understand that. That's horrible, but I'm sad because I really liked them. And Frankie comes for the performance. Like, she comes during the performance, and I really liked that. That was really cool when she just walked in singing, and I was like, yes, Frankie. 23, finally part 1. It's prom time at Degrassi, and in a last-minute shot to save his night, Drew plans an elaborate promposal to a now single Becky. Miles attempts to salvage the little relationship he has with his brother Hunter by helping him with his crush on Arlene. With everyone going off their separate ways after graduation, Claire begins to worry about her future and the relationship with Eli. So, wondering about future, friends save prom, failed promposal, wants to be with friends at prom, delayed final, try to help brother get with a girl he likes. So Miles sits weird at the beginning, where he's sitting like this with Zoe on the bench. I don't know why, but okay. So hearing about her past in diaries makes her wonder about the future. That's Claire. I don't think her grade 9 self writing, she shouldn't have taken it that seriously, but that's just my opinion. But I guess if you hear not to make it about boys, whatever. But I like how her friends say, you made mistakes, and they're like, it's like, we all made mistakes. It's like, you can say it, I failed, I said I wouldn't make it about boys, and they're like, you didn't fail. And they're like, you're not the only one that made mistakes in high school. And Allie looks at Jenna and she's like, speak for yourself. And it's like, they're joking. Drew makes the Starry Night prom happen, which I think was really sweet, that when the boat prom didn't work, he made Allie's Starry Night prom. That was really sweet. Frankie got to finish her final 3 hours late. That's how that got solved, because, Drew filled the gym with smoke. Miles duels with Hunter for Hunter to try to get his way. So that was just kind of funny. But then Miles won, and Hunter, they hugged, and he's like, I could be a better brother, and, talks to Eli, and Claire talks to Eli and he leaves, but she keeps her options open after talking to Simpson, which I think was really sweet, because I think that was the best idea for Claire. Best Audra line, do you really want your memory of prom night to be barbecue with your mom? That's so funny. I just love that. 24, finally part 2. Finally part 2. Drew helps Dallas save prom night, but is punished and unable to participate in the graduation ceremony. Claire is still unsure of her future plans, including where she stands with Eli. Imogen makes a decision about her relationship with Jack. So, Eli and Claire thing happens here, prom happens, Starry Night, So, the other episodes, 1 and 2, so the Eli and Claire thing where he walks out and she keeps her options open, and other episode is the Starry Night prom happening. So, get X back. Imogen and Jack have nothing in common and makes Imogen miss her novelty dance, which I don't think Imogen should have missed the novelty dance, even though Jack was there, so I think that was bad. Why did they play that Cali song everywhere, I'm like, whoa, the California sun, I'm like, whoa, this ride, that one from the Stooges, because they played it when they were going to get stuff from the school to do the prom. So Becky started a novelty dance for her, and Becky and Imogen have a pure moment at the end before graduation where they're like, if someone would have told me my friend would have been a bubbly Christian girl from Florida, I would have told them they're crazy. And she's like, ditto, but change bubbly, to a wacky dressing lesbian. And it was so cute. And Dallas is like, did you all kiss? And it's like, no. They make a thing for Drew to get him to cross the stage, and Miss Pill decides to allow it. She's like, if there's one thing I learned in my small time here, it's that this class shows solidarity. And I really like how she let him walk across the stage and graduate. And I like how they showed a slideshow for Adam, because that was so sweet. Audra and Drew have a tender moment, and it's just like, I'm glad you did it. You graduated. And Eli brings back the "you have pretty eyes," and that's the first thing he ever said to Claire, and I'm about to cry, and I don't want to cry. 25 through 28, Degrassi Don't Look Back, or Summer Girls. A summer that was intended to be filled with late-night bonfires, new romances, and possibly a new chapter in life is overshadowed when a seductive and infuriating girl, Gloria, goes missing. This cloud hangs over everyone's summer because they are either affected or implicated in some way by her disappearance. While searching for her, everyone discovers cracks and difficulties in their lives that must be repaired before the summer ends. So, internship is an update. Man tries to help. Teacher 2. Lifeguard exam. Loses out on a job. Placebo effect. Other jobs. So, Maya fails her lifeguarding test, but, she can still get the job. Gloria gets the job, which obviously Gloria shouldn't have gotten the job when she came in last. I mean, transcranial direct current, finds out it's a placebo, and Grace says, see, you are smart. I don't like how Zoe got mad at Grace because Grace was trying to make her realize she's smart. Gloria disappears in this episode. Maya got a job at Lola's. At least she had a job. I think it was good that she at least had a job. Thought Tristan was already famous because he's like, I'm trying to get internet famous. And it's like the West Drive experience. Zoe already knew who you were. She was famous, so aren't you famous? Because the whole cast watch it. Drink to get accepted. Mayor makes them all paint over graffiti as a punishment because they let Frankie get drunk. Great. So the next one is Gloria disappears, creepy teacher, gender questioning, like someone other than BF. So the Cam flashback. None of it got solved in this episode because they're playing the Ouija board and it goes CAM first. And so next part, same problems, an update, Maya got fired. So obviously the creepy teacher is cleared by the police, so he's not arrested, which I think was good, but I think it was good of Grace and Zoe to at least, like, you know, let the police know, hey, this guy might be creep. 28, same problems. Police found her with help of Maya's friends, so I like how Maya's friends all banded together to try to find Maya. And I like how, you know, cleared by police. I like how Zoe kissed Grace at the end of summer to let her feelings be known. Maybe she should have told her instead of kissed her, but it was a badass moment. And Logan saying that he never liked Frankie and she was stupid for thinking he would. I think that went a little too far, but Logan was a bad guy. So, you know, whatever. My camera battery, they're saying it is dead. So I was glad I got the end of the episode in. Sorry if I went a little fast at the end there. I was trying to get in. But anyway, I love you guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And I'll see you with next class. Bye.